Hi, this is another walking talking mop which should help you with Unit 11, Sustainability in Construction, and this was an exam taken on Tuesday the 14th of February 2020. Okay, so instructions are in black ink and ballpoint pen, and fill in the boxes as you go. Make your comments very clear, and let's have a go together and see if we can really get the maximum marks from the work that you do. Make sure you've got a nice pen to work with, all helps. And to start with, it says using a cross for these type of questions, very clearly done. Don't tick it, it may not be marked. Okay, and question 1. Identify 2 sustainable timber-based products. And this is for 2 marks. And they often work like that. If it's 2 points, it's normally 2 marks. So we have to assume that all the way through, I think. But it does tell you. Identify 2 sustainable timber-based products. Plasterboard is not. Structural insulated panels may include a sustainable timber, such as softwood. Engineered joists can be made from certainly sustainable timbers. Reconstituted slates, probably not, because they're slates and therefore usually are cement based or clay based, or they're actual slates itself, and they've been re-glued and resin together to form a new slate, so it won't be that one. Rigid insulation board, probably not as well. These tend to be glass fibre based and particle based, and often they're not made from sustainable materials. So I think the best suggestion would be an engineered joist, which is a pre-made joist, and I would go for structural insulated panel. These are modern panels, and these are pre-made and then brought in on site. An engineered joist is a joist which is made up usually from 4 or 5 parts. So here's an example. You will have a piece of timber here, maybe 3 or 4 centimetres by 5 centimetres. This will be meters long, 5 meters long perhaps. You will have another one at the base there, and of course in between you will have some sort of arrangement like that, with more thin sections of timber like that, something like that. Okay, this will be connected, and it's connected with these smaller pieces here of timber. Alright, so something like that. Yeah, smaller pieces. And these are engineered joists holding up the floors or the ceilings. Okay, and they're engineered because they've been put together by humans. Okay, not naturally forming. It's not a solid joist. A solid joist obviously would be much longer than I'm drawing. Be something like that, wouldn't it? You'd have this would be a solid. So it's reducing the weight. It's giving it just the same strength because the depth of section is maintained, and often it's made from materials that have no damage or marks where there's knots in them. So these joists can actually be stronger. Sometimes these are made with metal lathes, but usually it's full timber. Okay, and they can be made them much deeper than this. It can be made, even a metre deep. It could be a metre deep, that, and then obviously the lengths can be up to 5 metres plus. Right. So that's one done. You don't need to, that's good to know that, but anyway, not for the question. State one reason why construction materials should be stored correctly. Okay, this is a common sense question, and I think the common sense answer would be to reduce wastage and of course costs. And it also, I'm going to put another point, to reduce damage and loss of strength. If it's damaged, like anything, you'll have a reduction in strength, and often it has to be thrown away. So there's a couple of points there, but it's only asking for one. But you know, if you've got time, sometimes it's nice to have a couple of more points, who knows. Identify 2 natural insulation products. Insulation is a product that doesn't allow heat to travel through it. Okay, natural though, but so that's natural. So it's not man-made in any way, or made by humans, or processed. I think that's the word. So triple glazing is processed, so that's not natural. Steel is not natural. It's processed from iron ore from the ground. Clay bricks are processed from clay, and then obviously kiln heated and formed into bricks. Sheep's wool is natural, yes, so it's that one. Obviously it can be cut off the wool and it grows again. And flax is a natural plant product as well. Okay, brilliant. Okay, that's that done. Number 4, give 2 reasons why there may be a large number of vacant buildings in an area. Now, vacant means uninhabited. Uninhabited, okay? So reasons could be really various. Local deprivation. And this means is where perhaps the economy's collapsed in the area and jobs have been lost and it's become quite a deprived area and people have simply left the town, if you like. Okay, so other reasons could be new traffic routes. Traffic routes have been removed or changed, so people don't tend to visit the town because there's a bypass, perhaps. There could be local flooding problems, becoming more common. There could be a chemical spillage. From a factory, which has caused ground pollution or concerns, and that could be causing local pollution. And of course, like I said, the deprivation could be, as a result, causing no local jobs. The jobs have gone. Like the mining towns up in the north of England, when the mines went, there was no work, and that caused an awful lot of local deprivation. Okay, becomes run down. Give 2 ways, this is number 5, the 2 ways that the total distance travelled by suppliers delivering to a building site can be reduced. So your 2 ways, the total distance of travelling is reduced. Okay, so it's reducing the number of miles a lorry may go, or a vehicle. Okay, well, an obvious answer would be direct to site, not from a supplier. So sort of a building supplier. So it comes direct from the factory. Yeah? From factory. That'll help. You could organise larger loads. So take larger loads. Yeah. And I've got only use local suppliers. All right. So there's 3 points there. Okay, number 6. Give 1 reason why lights on a building site opposite a housing estate are fitted with light shades. Well, a shade, obviously, in a sense, reduces the amount of light being emitted from one side or another, like an umbrella, I suppose. Okay, so pretty obvious answer, I think, to reduce light nuisance. A nuisance is something you don't want, okay? It's like somebody causing a lot of noise. They're causing a nuisance. But that would be a sound nuisance. This is a light nuisance. And I'm actually going to put the word pollution, because you can actually have light pollution. It's a known term. And light pollution can cause areas to be illuminated when they're not meant to be. Illuminated means lit. Okay, so this is something that's obviously a problem in the night hours. Question 7. Identify 2 features used to reduce air leaks from a building. Oh, I like this one. Automatic external door closers. Good one. Mechanical extractors in kitchens. Not really relevant. Double glazing. Yes and no. If it's fitted properly, it shouldn't leak anyway. Okay. Draft sealants, definitely. And loft insulation, again, left, yes and no. It does help, but if it's fitted properly, and the loft's been properly tiled and felted and has the membrane, shouldn't be relevant. So the most common sense answers would be draft sealants or sealing and automatic door closers. Stop the air changing from inside to outside. Okay, on to this page. This is page 4, and it's question 8. Building on a brownfield site helps to prevent green spaces for the enjoyment of the local community. So that's true. So if you build on old land, it helps to preserve the natural land that hasn't been built on, and they're green spaces. Often grassed areas, but not always. Could be forest or woodland. Okay, let's look at this. To give 2 other advantages for a community building on a brownfield site. 2 other advantages for a community. Okay, of building on a brownfield site. So here we go. Common sense. This avoids the likelihood of building new roads. You don't want new roads built if you don't have to, or access in some way. Could be paths. If there's something already produced because it's already on built up land, you might find there's already roads and pathways in existence, which is a good thing. You're not having to dig up new land. Another advantage would be the local habitat is not affected. Okay, you're not damaging more land. Local habitat is not affected any further. Okay, full stop. Okay, question 9. Explain 2 ways that the use of prefabrication made before site can reduce on-site wastage. So prefabrication is when you make something, you fabricate something before it arrives on site. Windows, doors and things like that. So let's think. Pre-made, that's what we're talking about, in factories allows better or improved control of cutting materials and the quality control. The quality control is improved, due to the improved practical space stroke environment. Okay, really important. Okay, and try and explain it quite clearly like that. If the environment and the space is improved, such as a factory area, you're going to have better products, and therefore there can be much less waste even at the factories, let alone if it's made on site. But if it's made off site, the whole process is going to be improved. Excuse me. Okay, question 2. Okay, or part 2. Usually, supplies, or supplied rather, when required or needed. So less likely to be damaged. Okay, so if something's supplied as you need it, it tends not to be damaged on site, and it doesn't get damaged not just by vehicles perhaps running near it, but poor weather or bad weather. Okay, common sense answers. I hope you found that quite useful. Okay, this is 10. State one way waste material can be transported safely in skips without the risk of it falling out. Well, we all see this on the roads, don't we? You see a skip lorry taking waste material from a site, and you wonder whether some of it's going to come out. The obvious solution is you place a strong and suitable net or fabric tied over the load, the obviously objects inside the skip. And I've made a note here, nothing at all should be above the skip sides. There's quite strong regulations, and if things fall out of lorries, there's some serious consequences to the actual owner of the lorry. So put a net over it and tie the net down, of course. So 11, identify 2 methods of designing in a sustainable way. Sustainable is all about protecting the planet, and doing something which protects in some way the planet is always a good thing. Very, very important, as we know. 2 benefits of designing in a sustainable way. Now that's the interesting one. So you've got to design something which is in some way going to help protect the planet or the materials used in this building. Energy consumption is minimised. Well, that's a nothing statement. It's a useful statement in some ways, but not relevant to this so much. But yeah. So I don't think it's that. I don't think. Natural habitats are retained. Yes, that's a really important thing. So natural spaces are retained. So I'm going to tick that straight away. High embodied energy materials are used. Well, if there's been lots of energy used in the manufacturing or use of materials in some way, that's a bad thing. So that's an absolute negative. So that's definitely not true. All waste materials are sent to landfill. That's not good at all. Why would we want to put more waste in the land? No. Green spaces are minimised. Absolutely true. So we're going to put a tick there and there. Easy 2 marks. State one way, this is question 12, one way the use of biomass boilers contributes to sustainability. Biomass, bio actually means to do with biology and plant life and living matter. Okay, so it's to do with living creatures, so plant or animal. Yeah, that's what bio means. Living things, even things that have died but were living. So, well, the answer would be because it uses plant or animal material. Yeah, and you're not using fossil fuels, because it uses plant or animal material. I say material, it could be wool, or it could even be leather. But you know, you can regrow these things or cultivate them, or like I say, breed them if it's an animal. I suppose there is an argument though, because using animals means that you use land. You know, you've got to feed them, and there's an argument about the use of certain animals, certainly large animals. So, but I think that would be a sensible answer. Okay, particularly plant-based things. And biomass is often in some way burnt, or the gas is used, and it's better than using fossil fuels. Fossil fuels, fossil fuels are finite. Yeah, finite. They run out. Okay, state 2, timber, prefabricated structural building components used in a house. State 2, timber, pre-made. Remember, prefabricated structural. That means things holding something up. So it has to be strong. Supportive, I suppose. That is supporting a building component. Now, a component can be a part of a larger piece or the whole piece. Okay, so I'm going to suggest pre-made steel beams. Yes. Or engineered joists, which I mentioned, I think, a little bit back here, those pre-made joists instead of solid timber joists. But the pre-made beams, you know, you get these big I-section beams, massive, sometimes holding up large buildings. There's a little drawing of one, and it's called an I-section because it literally is the shape of the letter I. I think my light's flashing a bit, I'm sorry about that. And there it is, an I-beam, alright? Because it's an I-section. Okay, so, and another way, a state 2 prefabricated structure, so we've got those, a staircase. Could be one, it's structural, has to hold something up, and a joist hanger. And we talked about those before, joist hanger. And if I can quickly draw one, there's a joist hanger that goes into the wall, and your joists come off here. It's a piece of pressed steel, and your joists come out of it. Alright, there's your joist coming out, and this part actually is inside the wall here, held in the wall. Okay, I'm just going to, that light is, anyway, I hope you can see that. State 2, processes in the life of a material that add to its embodied energy. Now, embodied energy is the energy used in some way either to process it, move it, or cover it, or protect it, or make it. Anything, any energy used to move a material. So we're going to put transport to get to position, to get to position. Or maintenance, maintenance during its life. Another one could be the varnishing or treating of the wood. Varnishing or treating wood or metal. You don't varnish metal, but you paint metal, can you? So that's painting. Painting, sorry. Paint. That's A-I-N-T. Okay. So moving on. I'm just going to move that light because that's really is making some marks there. So let's have a look here. Explain 2 ways that green roof technology contributes to sustainability in urban areas. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. It allows new habitats to live. It reduces flooding. Okay, because the roof, the green roof, does help. I'm just going to wobble the plug on the... That's it. See if that helped. Yeah, brilliant. Okay. So the green technology, the roof, it's obviously some sort of green grassed area actually on a roof itself. So these are, I think these are sensible answers, I hope. And the next point I put, helps to reduce air pollution. I think that's a sensible answer, don't you? Air pollution in some way. Because it helps filter the air in the evenings, particularly if there's small trees on it. I'm going to put another point, can help to insulate a building if designed. Yeah, if designed into it properly. Okay, brilliant. Hope you enjoy this so far for what it is. Okay, now this is a complicated arrangement. This is a question, and this is one of the bigger questions, and it leads to many marks. It looks like 19 marks in all, I think, for this. 20 marks. And it talks about a development, usually an old development or a new development, and this is a city centre bus station. And it gives you a photograph of the situation, and it talks about it being a waiting area for buses. It's not particularly attractive building. There's lots of tarmac, lots of paving slabs. There is some ventilation here and some air conditioning, which we'll look into in a minute. The actual structure looks a little bit unusual. Let's have a look. So it contains bus company offices. As 25 years ago, the walls are masonry, so they're made from bricks and mortar with a rendered finish. The doors and window frames are timber. Well, I suppose if it's softwood, that's okay. Or of a stained finish, not very weather resistant. The windows are double glazed. Well, that's a good thing, I suppose. Could be treble glazed to some parts of the world now. The roofs are covered in metal sheeting, which you can see here. Not very attractive and hard to insulate, actually. Uses UPVC gutters, which is made from oil, which is not a great thing. Okay, remaining area of the bus station provides car parking, which is obviously needed. The rainfall at certain times is drained into a combined drainage system. That's not good. Combining rainwater with foul water or sewage water, but potentially that's what it's suggesting is not good. Some city centre roads, the bus routes have dedicated bus lanes. Oh, good, that's good. Dedicated bus lanes are good. Signal trafficking. Okay, some good and bad points here, which we can review in a moment. Okay, and the next one is all about an alternative. This is more modern city centre stuff. So these e-bikes they have, and it's a sheltered area. It talks about it having CCTV. It's in a town. It's a hiring system where you hire it, take the bike away. It has dedicated cycle paths, which is great. It leads to footpaths. This is a good thing. I can see this has a lot of possibilities. But of course, you know, it can take so many people. Can it take busloads of people? And of course, the bikes, once used, it's then at another location. Okay, and it transports people from sports facilities and around the country, it says here. Right, study the notes, ring and underline some of the main points. It's near the train routes. They can secure the bikes. Okay, it's near shops as well. Okay. A fairly simple operation here, isn't it? It's on paving slabs on a pavement. Right, let's see what it asks in terms of the questions. And you can always refer back to these points, can't you, as you go through the questions. State one form of mass transport other than buses. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Railways. Or trains, of course. Same thing. Ferry. Or ships. Similar things, aren't they? Aeroplanes. Aeroplanes. Okay, or airports, it's all connected, isn't it? So it's the means of mass transport, and that's the word. How do we carry lots and lots of people? Mass. Okay, not singular. These are, of course, the bikes are singular, aren't they? They only take one person. So all these things take lots of people in some ways. I suppose the obvious one is the railway. Take hundreds and thousands of people. Aeroplanes can take a couple of hundred at a time, can't they? And a train can take probably up to nearly 1,000 people, a big train. Okay, state one high embodied energy material used in the construction of the bus station. And we looked at that, and I know what it said now. It said a high, yeah, UPVC uses oil. Not great. And so's masonry. Uses stone and mortar, and it has rendering. So it has cement powder used. And these all consume large sums of energy. So PVC and masonry, okay, and due to the processing. So if you can explain it as well, excellent. And the same ditto for masonry. Lots of processing. The cement powder uses enormous amounts of energy. Real problem actually building things in concrete these days. 18. Sorry, I'm going back to this question. Yes, that's embodied energy. It's the energy used to produce or move or position even any other a material or product. So just to remind you of that, embodied. Yes, embodied. Nice word actually. Explain 2 reasons why a heat pump air conditioning unit can contribute to sustainability when we are using used in building B. Right, they use a heat pump. Okay, it gets basically heat from the ground and it's converted and used into the building. Okay, so one to look out for. I like to research this, heat pumps and air conditioning. Okay, because some air conditioning is not good. Okay, very expensive, run by electricity, but some is cleverly done. So heat pumps, so do some research for me on that one. They're used, or they use rather, ground or air temperature to heat a refrigerant or fluid. To then make hotter temperatures in a pressurized system. I mean, obviously it takes a bit of building and fabrication, but if they're well made, they can last for years, and it's a really clever system. So look at heat pumps and how they get heat from the ground or in the air at low temperatures, and the temperatures raised through a pumping system, okay, and a refrigerant. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's another one. They do not use a gas, e.g. Fossil fuel. So it's not a propane or some sort of methane. It's a natural way of extracting heat. Okay, and you don't want to use fossil fuels because they're finite. They run out. They're not infinite like space. Okay. 19. Explain one reason why CCTV at a train station cycle facility, which is this one, of course, can promote, that means improve, or in some way advertise or encourage, look at the words, an increased feeling of security. Okay, well, I'd feel happier if I got a camera on my possessions because I think it's being watched. Okay, and CCTV is closed circuit television. Okay, security cameras. And well, the answer would be due to the knowledge that the bicycles are being watched all day, even if unlocked. I wouldn't leave them unlocked, but you know, if you accidentally did do that, at least they've been watched. Okay, monitored, aren't they? Closed circuit television. Okay, question 20. Explain 2 reasons why the surface water runoff, rainwater, that's surface water running off onto the roads and the surfaces from the bus station cannot be considered to be draining to a sustainable urban drainage system, which is called a SUD. Now these are clever devices. They store the water usually underground, and it's stored rainwater. It's not mixed with dirty water from the road, and that is why this runoff from this building here is not good, because they combine it. So all the water runs off down the pipes to a drain, and it looks like it's combined with the sewage, and that's not good. You want to separate the sewage water to the fresh water, even if it's rain fresh water. Okay, so we'll put an explanation. Combined drainage can mean both sewage and rain water is collected together before it is treated at the water treatment works. So, you know, you don't really want to, you want to segregate it, you know, make sure they're not mixed, and it allows things to be done more professionally and cleaner. You don't want the oil from the roads being mixed in with the rainwater. You're making a problem straight away. So this is why. And you don't want sewage being mixed with rainwater. Keep them separate. It saves a lot of treatment processing wastage, if you like. And the second point, pollutants can be mixed in, this is the point, E.G, oils from the road, or rubber from the tyres, or plastics. And I put all from the road, for instance. Brilliant. Okay, we're getting there. 21. Okay, now we're getting near to the end of the paper, and at this point you want to be checking really time, because you may be running out of time, and it's not a long paper. The paper is 1 hour and 15 minutes. Shed hackers. So discuss how buses and cycling can contribute to sustainability. This word keeps coming up again and again in communities. And why does that word keep coming up? Because this is all about the sustainable environment under Unit 11. Okay. Don't forget, while I'm on this point, Shed Hackers, it's free to subscribe to these channels, so why not? Okay. I've bullet pointed a few points here to speed us up, okay, but you know, at home I would research some of these points, and some of the points perhaps like the engineered joists and joist hangers. Look at them, and there may be words like flashing. Now flashing is one to look up. That's the lead they put around windows to waterproof the seals around the windows. Okay, but look up flashing. So let's look at this. Discuss how buses and cycling can contribute to sustainability in communities. I think this is a really common sense a set of answers you can put down here, and you will be bright enough, I know, all of you, to really get your head into this one. I've put down, and you write full sentences please, less need for cars or buses. Obvious. Less pollution. Physical activity is good for humans. Really must be, you know, endorsed in some way. People should be doing much more of this, much more cycling, right up into your later years. Less noise. Okay? Who wants lots of noise and buses all the time? Less danger for the youngsters getting to school, and the older people, and everyone. Much less danger. Less traffic, of course. Need for larger roads. More green spaces. So it's less need for larger roads. Who wants to build bigger roads all the time? So you have more green areas, therefore. Okay? Less congestion, because you've got less cars. Less congestion. So it can be quicker. So you get less pollution. So all these things link, don't they? That links to that really well. Less pollution. Because the engine or the whatever's running isn't being used for such amount of time. Buses can carry many people. Now this is important. It's obvious. Can carry many people over single cars. So a bus may take 50 people. That means you probably need at least 25 cars, because most cars only have 2 people in them. Some only have 1. So it could mean 50 cars, 55 cars. Buses can stop and start at bus stations, bus stops. They're designed. It's all designed as part of the route. Yeah, really important. Part of the route. It's all designed. Buses can cover more miles. Yeah, buses can cover greater mileage. And they have greater life span. A bus can do 1,000,000 miles. Not many cars can do 1,000,000 miles. Some buses in London can run off hydrogen. Wow. Some buses can run off hydrogen. Okay? And the waste product from hydrogen, everyone, is H2O, water. That's the waste product. That's a good thing. Well done. Excellent. 100%. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that paper. I've quite enjoyed doing it with you. You know, these things are relatively easy once you've done the research, but I urge you, please do the research on the areas you're not sure about, because of course I can't cover everything. So there may be something that you're going to look at. It could be rigid insulation board, because another paper may actually point out Other points it may talk about types of plasterboard, types of other pollution. Okay, it may ask you a bit about triple glazing. You know, what is the advantage? It may talk about a U value. What does that mean? Look up U value. What else did we cover? Oh yes, it was the joist hanger. Look up the word habitat. What does habitat mean? You know, some of you may not know fully what that means. Look at the types of materials in woods and look up soft woods, maybe, and over hardwoods. Which ones are most sustainable? Well, softwood is, it's fast growing. But these all link to some of the key words, sustainability. Yeah, we looked at air pollution, didn't we? And we looked at, oh yes, there was a thing on refrigerants and heat pumps. So look up heat pumps, guys. There's some research for you. All right. Well, good luck. And let's hope when you do your exam, you get a level 2 distinction. Well done.